the second person was that Linda person, and I originally told my dad, like, hey, don't hire this person. She's kind of crazy. She's known to like kind of like start stuff with people, especially after she leaves or when it goes bad. But I'm like, she's better than nothing. It was like $1,000 to $2,000 a month, and she does do a lot of work. But when things goes bad, she goes next level.
But what is a lot of work? This is all just fucking spam. This is all just communication spam, and if a fucking person can't spam, they're useless.
No, I'm saying there's a huge hole. It's like basically like there's all these politicians that like need, like, I think a campaign consulting company could be huge. It's because like what Linda was doing and the next person.
But it's like
a very bad job and did not live in the district.
You gotta understand, it's no different than door knocking or cold calling and saying, "Hey, I'm a Google AdWords specialist and I want to help get your business, improve your business 100%." It's just the same fucking shtick. It's all just communications and media buying.
No. Yeah, but like I'm saying, like most of those in the Google AdWords situation is you hang up the phone on those guys. I hang up the phone on those guys. In politics right now, is like most of them, the scammers are in charge. Your average campaign manager is a scammer.
Well, I mean, they're doing communications.
So Kamala Harris spent like $1.2 billion in like 8 months.
I know.
She got scammed. Like all that shit went to advertising. But she got scammed. A Republican Party, Dan Proft. I was almost with him tonight. I decided not to go to the event, but like, because honestly, I felt in safety for my life because the articles I've written. And because I don't want to be around these people. So I don't want to be around these fucking people. So it's both. But regardless, Dan Proft was in charge. Like, so Uline didn't trust Darren Bailey, and so like he said, like, we're gonna let Dan Proft spend the money. Dan Proft got to spend $50 million on the last governor election, which was a joke. And that means he either made like 10 to 50%. So he either made like $4 million or he made $20 million from Darren Bailey losing. Because all that money goes to ads, or all that money goes to text messages, and the margins are 10 to 50%. So I want to get in that industry.
Yeah, well, I mean, welcome to the world of media buying.
And undercut it. Not to be greedy, but like it needs to. That's bullshit. Like they're ripping people off. Like I think 5%, 10%. That's like real estate. It's 2 to 6%.
Well, see, the thing is, it's a legitimate business and it's a lot of work. And
No, it's not. They're middlemen. They're just transferring it off to some other business and they're just upcharging. It's bullshit.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, but the thing is,
I was thinking of like maybe making a legitimate business out of it, and I think in the server thing is you're right, but like I used to be a big hackathon person. Like it's possible to make servers appear like they're more human, and like obviously, and if I don't work with like if I'm not like doing national campaigns, it's not the same.
So
like I'll probably only be sending like 1,000 text messages at a time.
So if we can, if we start getting signatures in August, how many?
So John, the most genius shit I've ever seen in my life was John Reeves, who I'm gonna write an article on, and I'm not like endorsing him as a person, but like he basically got so he stacked 10 different candidates because for example, if like let's say you're running for county board, there's gonna be a Congress candidate. There's going to be a Secretary of State candidate. There's going to be an Attorney General candidate. There's going to be a Governor's candidate. There's going to be a Senator candidate. There's going to be a State Rep candidate. And there's going to be a State Senator candidate. And there might be some other stuff, like a referendum or something like that. And so, like, imagine if we stacked 5 to 10 candidates. And here's what Reeves did. Is he did it on a volunteer level, where he basically, like, made it where it was 10 candidates, so you'd have 10 pages that were in your area. And then he would fill out everything. Everything was already typed up. Their name, their address, and these were all like hard Republicans. And then all they would have to do is sign their signature. And when you get the person, you'd be like, hey, like I'm here representing the Republic. We're getting Republicans on the ballot. You have to vote for them. You support democracy. You want you want more Republicans. Just sign. You look good. Sign your signature. just be like Hollywood, just give me your signature. And you have them sign. You don't have them fill out anything except the signature, but they sign 10 times. And so in 1 hour, you get 10 signatures, and then you go back, and you really have created 100 signatures. Because every person would sign 10 times. And so what I'm thinking, and what I'm already pitching, is $2.50 per signature. 5 times $2.50 is what's it called? Is $12.50. But 10 times $2.50 is $25. And it's $250, right?
I don't know, but that one guy that I met when I ran for the committeeman, he was like, John, he's like, I charge $15 a signature.
No, I'm saying, but like, what if we had 5 to 10 candidates, and so every signature would be times 5 to 10? Like, I'm talking like I can make $1,000 a day myself.
I know, but it's all the stars have to align.
And then I learned from you is what if I paid someone? What if I was making $1,000 a day, but I was paying them $30 an hour? They'd be thrilled.
Yeah, I know, but the stars have to align. It comes down to fundraising and redistribution. So.
No. I want to start a business. Fuck a pack. It's like literally, like I have my dad. I have Joe Severino. So that's governor. That's Congress. Governor, Congress. Walt and this. Believe it or not, Walt's running for Secretary of State, and he has a little money. And then
Walt?
this guy, Capillary, whatever. I talked to him tonight. His niece dated my best friend, so I've been knowing him for a year. He's running for comptroller. So we have him, Law, Joe, my dad. I know he's broke, but I know one of the AG candidates, Andy Williams. Like I know a bunch of other. I know James Martyr, who's running for Congress. I know Rocio Cleveland, who's running for Congress. I know this random Asian guy that's running for Congress. I know Dylan Vansel is running for Congress. I know you who's running for Congress.
I know, but the thing is, when you file, you can just export that CSV with all the Congress people's emails throughout the whole country and email every single one of them.
So what I think I need to start doing is I need to start hitting out. All the candidates are already filed. Is I need to contact them, and so instead of being like the random Indian guy, is I need to lowball you guys. And just give you guys prices to screw over the consultants. To be like, hey, I can send text messages for 1.5 cents. That's going to screw over the Illinois GOP. Because then everyone's like, oh, wow. Because that's what they do is they take advantage of random rich people.
I asked Augustus today, I was like, did you ever buy any traffic on Google or Facebook or in TikTok, anywhere? He's like, nope, we never bought any traffic. And that's when he was doing the Kennedy campaign. And they were getting millions of views,
Well, you don't need to buy. Well, as I told you, is you get kind of you get on a different echelon because you're in politics.
Right.
And so you don't have to buy it. They basically force you to buy stuff because they get commission.
Well, anyways, I mean, see, it's a business, but I mean, there's so many businesses. It's just a question of
Well, I think I could be the next Google of politics because there's so much fraud and so much waste that I can just cut it all out because it's just ridiculous.
But people go direct to Google and they go direct to Facebook, so that's the
I'm
that's
saying
the
I
problem.
could be the Google or Facebook. There is no Google or Facebook for running all. Oh, you're running for office. What's your Google or Facebook?
Exactly. I mean, they're buying traffic. Like, fucking LaHood has 27,000 followers on his Instagram and Facebook page. I'm like, but there's no interaction. He'll post something, he'll get 10 likes, but he's got 27,000 followers.
Because you get an extra, because Facebook or Google, part of their algorithm,
it shows
is to kind of see if you're legit.
Yeah.
And because you filed for Congress or because you are a congressperson, they categorize you as legit. And so even though they have followers, as you said, they don't actually have real engagement. And so it's all a mirage.
Yeah.
So much of the industry is nonsense.
Yep.
There is no Google, Facebook, or Costco for running for office, and there should be, because it is a whole industry. Everything, even getting on the ballot and challenging to get on the ballot is a whole industry.
I wonder what LaHood thinks when I'm just constantly blasting him, because everybody looks at who's interacting with them. So when he sees all this shit posting and he sees that somebody's actually running against him. I wonder if he's even like, he probably doesn't even give a fuck. He's like, this is hilarious.
No, he does, because like, you're ruining, because he wants to be the Speaker of the House.
Oh
so
my gosh.
That's the psychological warfare that you're engaging in. Is even if he wins, he doesn't want to just be in Congress.
Max, you have.
He wants to be on the best committee, and he wants to be the Speaker of the House, and you're fucking that up by exposing where he's been a write-up before, and he's like the next Lindsey Graham.
That woman at the Moretti's event, she's like, "Tell me the truth. Why are you doing this?" She's like, "Is it because Max put you up to it?"
Well, who does she work for? Do you know who? Is it Richard Porter or have you what have you? I mean,
she kept telling him, "Don't do this to Darren. Don't do this to Darren. He's such a nice guy."
She said that?
Yeah, and I was like, "Are you serious?
Wow.
The country's $40 trillion in debt. We have to primary everybody. They all gotta go." She's like, "You're right."
I honestly am so pissed at you and her for leaving that footage. You had Aaron Omar looking like he was on cocaine, using fake words, and you deleted that shit so you can make out with some girl. I'm so pissed.
Wait, no, I didn't. Oh, there was more. There was actually there. I never even watched the video before I deleted
I did.
it.
I watched the Aaron Omar part, and he looked so bad, and he was using fake words. He said, "We're gonna have a libacious night." He was so cocaine.
No, I have those. Those are still up.
Jefferson's Fart News.
Those are still. That one is still. Those are still up. But who cares? It's all spam.
They're still up.
Those Aaron Del Mar videos are still up.
Why didn't you tell me that? I should put that in my article.
Well, you took a screenshot from the video, so I figured.
No, I didn't.
You did.
No, I didn't record the entire video.
No. You don't understand. That was the live stream. I created shorts of him when I shook his hand. I was like,
Is the live stream still on your YouTube?
No, that was deleted for what's it?
So what is still recoverable?
All I can do is give you the link right now to the Aaron Del Mar videos.
Well, yeah.
It's the same shit. It's the same shit. It's just more fucking spam. You got him good, dude. Dude, the guy's fucking crazy.
No, he's running against my dad now.
What?
Yeah, that's the latest. I forgot to mention that to you. Wow. Yeah. No. Well, that's the thing. I think you might be trolling my dad. It's some high, powerful political people reached out to my dad and said Aaron Omar was running against him, and that they I want to write a whole comic movie on this, but these goofballs create this new. There's the HRO, the SRO, and now they're creating a CRO, the congressional organization to fund congressional races. And from my source, I heard they're only funding two races, Dylan Vansel and then Jed Davis. But these two donors told my dad, hey, Aaron Del Mar as well said this, that they're running against him and that he's getting well funded by these guys, the CRO and Dean White. But I think it's possibly that they're just pissed because we fucked every night. Okay. And they're just trolling.
Oh yeah.
but Aaron is telling people he's running in the 8th, but I still believe it.
Yeah, I'm sending you all the Aaron Del Mar private
There's
accounts.
also there was one tweet today from Clown Car. Do you follow Clown Car?
No.
You should look into Will County Clown Car. I don't know who this person is. I have a feeling I don't even want to know who this person is because they are a Democrat. But they shit on all the Republicans, and they have such psychological warfare with the Republican side. But he just posted that Aaron Del Mar is running. He's on Facebook and Twitter, but he's saying that Aaron Del Mar's doing more events downstate. That he's still running for governor.
Well, I sent you the links. I don't even know if it's all water under the bridge at this point. The guy he's never going anywhere. He's not going to do anything.
No, I agree. I'm with you.
Yeah.
And the only reason why I write about him is more it's crazy that I changed my article. It was more like a short story to begin with. It's I do see him more, and have you followed the Terry Newsom battles?
Just whatever we text and stuff. I don't look at Facebook that much.
But there's this 62-year-old that he made 30 different memes about me in 2 days because I think he was a Jan 6 fan. And I you would think I was mad at him, but it's a lot more complicated. He was a source for my last article, Like he was the one that it was the one that showed me. It's so funny because he's like up in this garden.
You're the Chicago James O'Keefe Project Veritas. Illinois Record is the Project Veritas of fucking Chicago.
It is. No, but this guy, he called this guy Mendix, and he's like, this guy threatened my family, and he weaponized the police, and he embarrassed me for because this guy sold steroids and cocaine to kids, and rocket launchers, and grenade launchers, and went to jail for 9 years. And so this sheriff was shit on that, and then he was like, how dare he make fun of me for that? And he's so bad. He gave me info about how this sheriff lives on Xbox Live and plays Halo all the time. And has an account called Time to Die or something like that, or Ready to Die. I forgot the one. And then he was such a snitch. He was like, and my source is this guy who's a sex offender who gave him over $100,000 and impersonated a police officer before, was got in trouble for that. And so he was such a snitch to me. And then I started to kind of realize, I didn't realize that he basically was a Democrat his entire life, and his first bit of activism was to go to January 6th. And he goes to January 6th, and he's just filming everyone. And he lied. He basically his original story was hey, I fell asleep in my hotel. He goes I went to January 6th with my former sheriff friend, even though I was former cocaine and steroid dealer, weapons dealer. And he goes to January 6th. He's wearing pouches. He's really wearing a bulletproof vest with pouches, and goes with the former sheriff. And the story is that he falls asleep during January 6th. But then he's such a schizophrenic dumbass that he posts on Facebook, here's my footage from January 6th. And it's he's filming people as they go through the gates. He's going out of their way to film their faces. And he never gets any scrutiny whatsoever. And his big thing, the reason how he gets famous is he's oh, they took me off TSA pre. And then immediately they get back on TSA pre. He never got I was on a 3-way phone call with him. And so I have witnesses. And he goes yeah, the FBI never looked into me. They just actually asked me for my help to get Antifa. And I FOIA'd him. I FOIA'd him at his house, and it was so sketchy. They basically said everything's private, can't see anything. There's 8. They gave me all the 8 incidents, and they said it's all private. I can't see it. And I'm okay. Let me FOIA again. Here's the 8 incidents. And just take out all the private info, and they shut me down again. And here's the kicker. And so this guy was a total Democrat. Jan 6, he just randomly goes to. He thinks the Democrats are a little too radical, but he goes to D.C. wearing a bulletproof vest with pouches. I think he might be the pipe bomb guy, and does all this nonsense. He comes back, and he's just fighting real hard against child porn in schools. Even though he was a former Chippendales waiter / dancer, they got fired for putting a banana in his Speedo, and so it's totally conflicting. But his main job is originally he worked for for a DoD connected tech firm, but like right now, like his main thing is he's trying to kick out like all the immigrants and like hunt down all the Venezuelans in America. He literally on Facebook commented again. I think he's lying. I think he was like an Aryan guy in prison, but he was saying he was a Latin king in prison. He's hunting down immigrants. Makes no fucking sense. And then what's it called? And then here's the kicker: is his job right now is he's the head of sales for a company where the president has DoD top secret clearance, and you can speak to how big of a deal that is. And what they do is they say they're a DEI company and they're 90% diverse. Uh-huh. But what they do is they basically ship out American tech jobs to like India and Mexico, and they say it's DEI because they're brown. How funny is that shit? That's and also, also, can you speak to like how that's probably like the conspiracy that Joe and myself have is there's basically like one person like Terry in every county. Like Terry's the guy in DuPage, where he's like very loud, very obnoxious, very embarrassing. He talks about Republican issues, but like in a very like meathead, retarded kind of way. Look, we're gonna get the porn out of school. Biden's a fucking retard. But then there's also this guy Alexander, who was the Terry of King County, who every Sunday does a Trump train where we in a rich area. He's from Elgin. He drives all the way to Schaumburg, and he flies a Trump flag, and is filming everyone, and it's just just kind of scaring all the freaking people, saying that Trump people are all like a bunch of white nationalists. But he's a former rap producer, disconnected like Bones Thugs and Harmony and Twister, that's what he says, and he's on SoundCloud still, and he told me he was like a Black Keystone or like one of those kind of gangs. But then you have MK though in Will County, who she on the phone, and once again I had a witness for this, and she said that she made and manufactured methamphetamine since she was in 12, and she has 2 arrests. And I FOIA'd her, and it was over 150 documents. She gives me so much shit for it, and every opportunity to be a snitch, she snitches. She'll get caught with meth in her anus. She's like, they have heroin in the house. They're making heroin in the house. She sucked some guy's wiener for $140, and she's like, he was trying to do all this stuff to me. And every time she gets caught, she tries to fess, and so she eventually goes to jail for meth. While she gets out of jail, she gets caught. So basically, this is the most meth shit ever. And she calls the cops to find her car. They go to the car. She's like, I need my car. I need this in the car. And then they top the car, and they're like, is this your purse? She's like, yeah, that's my purse. And there's pills and shit in the purse. And then in the car, they find pills, they find gun, weapons, methamphetamines, scales, and weed. No one gets arrested. She doesn't. She basically said it's my ex-boyfriend's car. My ex-boyfriend stole my car, and he put all this stuff in my purse. But the ex-boyfriend doesn't get arrested either. And so and then 6 months after her prison sentence, she starts this thing called Protest the Protesters, to kind of be the face of Republicans, fighting out the Democrats, to piss them off into voting in the generals, in my opinion. But so it's she's Will County. You have Terry DuPage. You have this person named Ashley Ramos, who also kind of has a rap sheet as well, of just kind of minor crimes. It starts she starts a thing called Back the Blue. And so I think there's a whole what's called controlled opposition thing going on in the Republican Party.
100%. All you got to do is look at the state of Illinois.
I wrote a whole article on the Warriors, where they literally are technically a white. That's the guy that called me a kike. Did you see what? How bullshit is this? Why don't Jews protect me on this? Did you see what Joe Sereno just posted?
No.
It's about me. How come no one's protecting me? Someone told me, fuck you, kike. For me.
Dude, I record so much fucking hate speech about Jews on this JQ radio room on
Have
X.
you ever heard kike? I was have you been called kike? This was that kind of messed me up for a day.
I mean, yeah, I've been called that. I mean, it's not like I...
When's the last time, though?
I don't know.
Hey, welcome back to the...
This morning, probably.
What?
It's all the time, dude. I mean, I was in the JQ radio room roasting them, telling them all to get a girlfriend, read a book, and go to the gym.
Yeah, but this is the guy representing a governor. The only guy that actually is declared for governor is James Mendricks. Did you read my article on Mendricks about how he faked the hate crime?
Yeah.
So he was calling me to defend that article. It's no, he didn't lie. I'm I have text messages saying that they told the police, and then I did a FOIA request asking did they tell the police, to the police and the sheriff's office, and both of them said no. So how can you tell me they're not lying? And then I have the message from the wife. So it was raining that day, and then I have evidence it didn't rain for the 2 days. And then she said her camera wasn't working. Just all this bullshit. And although he said that he never lost a bullet in 30 years of his life, he's never misplaced a bullet ever. So there's so many lies. And then he called me. We basically were having a quarter conversation. And then it kind of when I was defending myself, he got more hostile. He's like, I know you. I know what you're trying to do. You're CNN, all this kind of nonsense. And I've talked, now that I've talked to you, I really get you. And then when I kind of flipped it on him, is where I'm I understand where you're coming from. You represent this person running for office. You really want him to win, and you wouldn't want any negative information on him. I get that. You're on a team, and that really triggered him. Like when I say he's on a team, he's like, "Fuck you, I'll beat your ass," you know. And this guy's like 5'1" and like in his 60s. And he was like threatening me to beat me up. And like that did piss me off, but then he said GD, and that really triggered me. Like I do not like when people say GD.
What's GD? What's GD?
Gosh darn.
Oh, when they say the G word.
And so I'll be honest, like when he said gosh darn, when he said that, like that really pissed me off. But then I kind of started to calm down, and like I'm like as a Jew, and when I said as a Jew, he goes like fuck you, kike. And then when he said that, like really like took me back, and like so the conversation just like went on that, and he basically tried to say that he said kite. So he said fuck you, kite. Does that make any sense to you?
People are crazy, man. I don't know what to tell you.
And here's the craziest shit is then like afterwards, like I'm like, hey, like can you just apologize? And like I also like I know of a synagogue near him with a good rabbi. I'm like, can you just like go, because like he actually has some Jewish lineage, and so I think it's a lot of self-hate. And so I'm like, just go. Like I know actually a wise good rabbi near him, and like apologize. He's like, how dare you? You misheard me. I said kite. And then I followed up on a call with him, three-way. So we have witnesses. And he literally said, he's like, I used to say kite when I was a kid, and then my mom would beat me. And so now I say kite.
So weird. The Chinese Mutual Red Party Asia, like, Aaron Delmar is a fashion
model. Did you see the Chinese Canada interview?
No.
It's pretty eye-opening. He actually, I haven't posted it, but he posted himself. And like I actually kind of like him I do like him as a person. Mm-hmm. But there's a pro-China guy that's running in my district. Like he's like full pro-China. Like I'm not speaking ill of him.
It's really hard.
He's got a thick China accent. He's pro-China, and he thinks China should just take Taiwan.
It's so hard to like wrap my head around it all because like LaHood sits on that like Chinese Communist Supervision Board. He sits on all these. But
John, I asked this guy. It's in the interview. I'm like, "Who's your favorite congressperson?" He goes, "Bill Foster," and then also I like Dan Biss. He's when he goes to Republican. I'm like, "Are you aware that Bill Foster's a Democrat?"
LaHood had his moment in his chambers. He was interviewing three. Witnesses, and he was screaming about how we need like another $100 billion to defend Taiwan. And I'm just like, this is the craziest shit ever.
John, I have a good money making opportunity for your campaign, legal, and I need your campaign. Is I own MAGARaffles.com and TrumpRaffle.com.
Oh.
And so like as a campaign, you have the legal right. Like I, as a citizen or a business, I have no right to do a raffle. You do. And so if you want to apply for raffle, we can have it on my website.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think we should raise money to get you signatures.
Yeah, 100%.
Then the show goes on till November.
I mean...
Because like no one gives a shit about Commissioner, to be honest.
Did you... So what was up with that black chick who said she was going to run against Samantha Steele because,
she's changed her mind. She changed her mind. I think she's running for something else now.
What?
Yeah.
So who are they going to field to go up against Samantha Steele, who's trying to take it from Fritz Keigi?
Like probably Amy Castle or something like that.
They haven't even announced?
No, I mean, no one's going to really announce until like July. That's kind of also a crazy thing that no one realizes.
So
like, there's no way Mendrix is going to be like the main candidate.
So let's say I won that committeeman election, and then let's say I voted. I didn't vote for Delmar. Can't Delmar just fire everybody, even if you win the election?
But he's being coked out. There's no one who get fired. Is this guy Paul? A very interesting situation, and I hope he can like get. So he is like what's it called a C Bolton ally, and also it is a very hairy situation. But like he basically got in a fight with two of the Chicago Flip Red, which he basically claims is very tied in with law enforcement. And it's kind of like the stuff I was saying. It's like all these meth heads, petty criminals, explosive dealers that are like just kind of like being very like flippant to like just kind of be like a pinata for Democrats to be like our scarecrow.
Mm-hmm.
to be like, yeah, Democrats might not be perfect, but at least they're not Terry Newsom, who's just waving child porn and being like homophobic and say, liking stuff with the N-word on it. And so that's what they're accusing of them. But I don't know them, and I've actually have heard okay things about them. But basically, like one is kind of like very promiscuous, and one is transgender, and that's what they allege, and is like very built. And so she's a woman, and like Aaron Demar is like claiming she's a woman, but she is very big, and like they're saying that he goes by he. And I personally believe that if someone goes by he, you kind of lose the women privileges, right? You can't have it both ways. And so, like, the whole scandal is, if you watch the video, is this guy's like, you're a bunch of dick. He does say like you're dick. He calls them dick eaters. and then he slaps the phone away. But he basically is saying he slaps the phone away from the transgender man, and that like neutralizes that whole argument. And like Aaron don't like it. So basically, like Paul. So I sent my article to everyone, all the Chicago committeemen, and I'm like not even the article about the event, the article before the event, just breaking down the candidates. And I'm just like, just make a good choice. Like, just think about like who you're voting for. And like Paul was one of the only people to like respond and be like, screw Aaron. Aaron's racist. He's this and he's that. And apparently at the meeting, we didn't realize this. Like Paul said, like kind of like shoot out Aaron. And then he like got in the fight with the transgender the next day. And then Aaron like put out a message because he got arrested. He was like, this is irresponsible. This is ridiculous. We're going to have a vote. We're going to censor him. We're going to have a vote to remove him, in a few days. But he has actually no power to do this.
Yeah. And
so I met with George Ballas also yesterday. Or the day before, technically. So he wrote a resignation letter. And like Jeff Fiedler and all these people have been calling him because you actually have to resign with the Board of Election. So he hasn't actually resigned.
Mm-hmm.
Like none of these people have actually resigned. Like Aaron just faked like he fired 7 people. He never did. He just got poked out. He's like, they're all fired. And then apparently I've heard that he's trying to like actually rehire them because like it does look bad. Because he's like, we got to unite. I'm firing all these motherfuckers that didn't vote against me, except Steve Bolton. But he doesn't have the ability. And the Niles guy like already has a pack, and like so it's kind of funny.
Huh.
But just keep at it, John.
Yeah, I mean, what
But let's set up all your bank stuff so you can make money, and so we can get you signatures. So I think that should be your goal.
Yeah, I want to
get you on the ballot.
Also, I want to try to do 10 podcasts in 10 days. Like, actually set up recorded sessions with people who have some social media influence. We can just set the whole thing up. It doesn't even have to be.
Let's do quality over quantity. We'll be like off camera. We can have like a serious meeting. I'm like, because I think you should do quantity, but I think if you just like up the quality a little bit, it would just exponentially change the impact.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's like a fucking it's it's all branding, and it's like I'm doing it myself, and I mean it's my gonzo branding effort.
You have a great brand, like have you ever seen Happy Gilmore where they refine it a little bit?
Yeah, just. I'll have to find the clip. I know what you're talking about, but it's the same with anything. It's like a Chinese saying, but I mean,
since you're running, I'm not running for office. You are, so I don't have to refine shit. But like you actually could have a major impact if you refine it a little bit because you do have a compelling story, and he's such a rhino piece of shit.
Yeah, I mean, but what is the actual sentiment? Because you would imagine 50% of the Republicans in a 70%.
It's like Lindsey Graham. It's very so Lindsey Graham and Mitch McConnell win. Is you just have to kind of propose yourself as a credible alternative,
mm-hmm.
and you don't have to do it on your bio. You can do it on like what you're gonna do.
Right.
You do a good job of that, of kind of like saying like what your platform is. But you kind of like that's kind of like how you say like, hey, like he's a piece of shit, but like don't worry, when I win, I'm gonna make sure X, Y, and Z.
Well, I mean, I would look to, I mean, what Thomas Massey is the only person who like stood in defiance of the Big Better bill. Listen, there's you know, I'm gonna run for Congress or Senate or mayor, or I'm gonna run for office until the day I die. There's like no reason
There's no
not
reason
to.
not to. It's free money.
So the
Like, no,
craziest.
so John.
How the
If you
fuck are there
want,
not
so that,
thousands of people running all the time? I don't understand it.
no, John.
There's
If
no
you wanted to,
participation.
John, if you want to put out an ad on the radio, on the newspaper, and then on like 3 local TV stations, how much does that cost? 3 times.
I mean, you're talking like $10,000 minimum, probably
For all different 3 mediums.
at once
Three
for
different
whatever.
times.
It's a lot of money, man. The television is insanely expensive. So is radio. I mean,
So
digital
would it be
ads.
safe to say that it's over 6 figures?
I don't know. I mean, you could probably do it for like 25,000.
But 3 times, so that's 75,000.
Oh well, okay.
And multiple, all 3 newspapers, 3 different TV stations, like maybe some national news. My point is like, so Joe Severino, who's running for governor, he's gonna get like $1 million of free media if he gets on the ballot.
Yeah.
If you run for Congress, you're gonna get $75,000 to $300,000 of free media.
Mm-hmm.
And so the point is that you actually talk about real shit, because like, why would you waste it? I'm like, oh, we're gonna talk about jobs. I'm socially moderate. I'm fiscally conservative and socially moderate. Like, that's such a waste of money. Like John McAfee, who rest in peace, Max Dixon. Rest in peace, Max Dixon. Great grandnephew of Samuel Dixon, very important in U.S. history, was Samuel Dixon, Senator Samuel Dixon, who was a spy for Russia, or actual spy for Russia, who was on the HUAC committee, who was giving false info to Joseph McCarthy. That's real history. But rest in peace, Max Dixon. We basically worked on the John McAfee campaign for like a couple days, and we realized it was complete bullshit, and that John McAfee was using his campaign as a pumping up seat for a penny stock.
Yeah.
Because he realized that if he ran for president, it'd be, as we said, minimum 6 figures, maximum 9 figures, 10 figures. You know, like Trump probably got 10 figures of earned media that he didn't spend. And so, like, what McAfee did is he became the CEO of a penny stock. Like, he took over a penny stock that he said was like now an incubator because he was in charge of it. And if it ever like the terms were like went over $1 for like X amount of times, he would get bonuses and stuff like that. And so when he ran for president as a libertarian, all he was saying is like, oh, I'm a successful businessman, and I'm doing so great with my penny cent stock. Invest in MGT. And so he took the shit from like 40 cents to like, $3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well,
so he used president as a pump it up scheme.
I mean, McAfee, is a legend, but he's also like a dirtbag legend.
But he's a total fraud. Like I told you, like I have intimate knowledge of his team, and I've talked to him.
Well, anyways, I mean, the whole thing is, so I mean, I'm gonna create a bunch of more videos about LaHood. Like Augustus was telling me, he's like,
did you see the article about the guns? How can the NRA not be pissed about that?
Dude, the
guy, one of the biggest voters in the area.
The guy gets away with murder. He's untouched. No one has ever even fucking trolled him or shitposted him.
Until Kitover. Until Congressman Kitover.
Dude, you are the fucking James O'Keefe of the Chicagoland area, man. I mean, I don't know anybody like you, and everybody knows you, and everybody like loves you or hates you, but you have to. I mean, keep pushing, but like Illinois Record.
And I was talking to Sean.
Why don't you partner with O'Keefe Media? I mean, like literally form a partnership.
I have some inside info on O'Keefe. I'm an O'Keefe fan.
Well, okay, you don't like, because I was recording him today, and this was kind of funny because it was actually.
No, I have inside info on him, and I'm not down with that. And also what he does is cool. So I'm actually, when I ran for Congress, one of my top things is I don't like entrapment. And like what he does is he actually gets like women and men to actually screw over their entire lives. they have to erase their history and just like create dating accounts and like catfish guys in government. And that's not good. That's not good journalism. That's not good.
But dude, Jordan like, Tristan, he got Pfizer.
And I'm sure you made up some stuff with Christine. It's like a lot of times when people are on dates, they do like make stuff up.
No, I didn't make up shit. I mean, I live stream myself on the internet. I mean,
but imagine if you were like a government hack. Like government hacks, like their go-to thing is like, oh yeah, I'm so powerful. But I just know that with people in politics, that's what they do is they just brag about everything.
I know, but even
like,
getting,
I know Darren the Hood. Darren the Hood doesn't even do this, or like that's what O'Keefe does. It's all dates. It's all Grindr and Tinder. No, I'm telling you, I know.
That's seriously ballsy though. Like that takes a lot of fucking ingenuity, and not many people have that personality.
A lot of it's Grindr too.
Yeah,
but I respect it. I met James. He was I met him at Northwestern.
So he had somebody from Project Veritas saying that you abandoned us, James, and you're lying. And why did you invite Nicole to your boat when you had all these dildos and sex toys and you lied? And I took the blame.
My circle, Justin. I know that guy.
Yeah, it was crazy. I was listening to this shit today.
I know other people too. No, so basically James got way too. Definitely drugs ruined him or something. Where he was like literally like using the Project Veritas jet to like fly out to different areas and like using his girlfriend to get like prescription drugs and so when I was at CPAC, there was a Doge party, a fake Doge party. Mm-hmm. It was at the house of a suspected pedo, and James O'Keefe was the DJ. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying suspected like in the conspiracy circles. They made a movie on the guy. Do you ever see that the Bryan Singer movie, Open Secrets? Mm-mm. Oh, good movie. Watch it. He's one of the guys in it. Like, Brock, what's his name? Brock Pierce? Have you ever heard of the guy? Mm-mm. Like, he's not guilty. Not guilty. But, like, he was a child actor that became, started this very sketchy entertainment company with Bryan Singer, who got canceled for mysterious. He's, like, basically like Dan Schneider, who got canceled but like never got arrested.
Dude, what about this fucking piece of shit from Chicago that killed these two people at the Israeli embassy? It's fucking wild.
MK Ultra.
Dude, he's before they peacefully removed him, he was like, "Free Palestine, free."
Like MK Ultra, like what I've started to realize is it's gotten so sophisticated now. A lot of it is just like mainstream, like stuff that they saw from media or from like education. Like that guy is so brainwashed, retarded. Why would you throw your fucking life away to just kill some random? And like isn't that wild? That he just like threw his entire life away.
He was responding to like some Hamas call to action.
Like things are Jewish. Like how retarded is that?
It's very retarded, but he was responding to apparently some Hamas call to action or something like that.
That's what I'm saying. It's like whoever was controlling him, it is kind of like MK Ultra, where this retard was like weaponized.
He's like a primo, the kid from Highland Park. Like, he's just like the fucking shooter at the Pittsburgh rally. Like, all these people have like the same personality. Of like.
Well, they're walking the red flags, and so like when the Cremo thing happened, is there was an intern at Energy CX. And he like texted that day while he was in the run. And by the way, I went to Highland Park while it was happening. Mm-hmm. But like, America does such a bad job of preparing for that kind of stuff. They just told everyone to be sitting ducks and just wait. So stupid. He was around for like a day. But like, regardless, this kid, and like he was like, was a Cremo immediately. And like, I didn't think that, but like when I saw it, because he like, that was the closest convenience store. Was Bob's Deli. Like, that was the first place I did stand-up comedy, was at Bob's. Like, he let me do a show there. Not the first place I did stand-up, the first place, like, I did a show. But Bob was also, like, tight with the town creeper. That was, like, this kid that got kicked out of everywhere else was allowed to hang out at Bob's. And, like, Bob was, like, definitely a strange guy. And this kid, like, totally had those kind of vibes. And there's so many, like, people like that in America.
Dude.
And, like, I'm not like anti-Second Amendment, but like, it's scary. Because all those people could weaponize easily.
I mean, what pisses me off is, like, even those two people at the embassy, like, they should have been armed and, even apprehensive and prepared for something like this. I mean, and everybody should be like this. That's why it's like...
Imagine if it was, like, if someone actually was strong and not, like, Bob's pussy-ass transgender kid, Like, he literally was, like, they literally just told you, like, hey, go inside. There was no police protection. my dad and I were just like roaming the fucking streets of Ground Zero, like while it was like an hour or two after it happened.
Yeah.
I shit you not. I got so much shit because my dad was wearing my Max Rise for Congress T-shirt
Oh my
in a
God.
press conference, and he's like laughing, calling me. He wasn't like laughing, but he was like laughing that like Brad Schneider was like trying to make a moment out of it, which I agree with him. The Democrats were like trying to weaponize it like 3 minutes later. But yeah, so I hope you get on as many like cash things as you can, so we can raise the money to get the signatures. Because like you're too far away to get the signatures.
Yeah, I know. How do we get like a Laura Loomer to do, you know, a hit piece on Darren LaHood? I mean, like, where is all the like? You go to the comment section.
I don't rhino like so. You should have went to CPAC. There are these different. I'm in different rhino groups, and there are a bunch of different rhino hunters across the United States. And there's like I think it's like rhinohunter.com, but like people aren't 100% on them. I like them, but there are a bunch of different groups on the nation. I'm kind of in that community, but you know, might not be perfect, but
this Term Limits website and nonprofit in DC that contacted me is really funny because basically they get people to sign and then they show back up 3 terms later and they blast you if you're still in Congress. So
that's awesome.
That's going to be a big like hit piece on him that he actually signed this, you know, pledge.
Well, let's get you on the ballot.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. It's like, oh my God, I don't even want to think about actually filling out ballots.
I mean, it's not that big a deal. I think you're gonna need like 400, 500 signatures. We'll get you 1,000.
Really? That's it?
Yeah, we'll need to raise you like $2,000, 2, 3, and then you're good.
I don't know if you saw the news today, but they're saying that there's like, you know, anticipated terror attacks in Chicago during all these festivals. And like,
100%.
Dude, how the fuck do they prevent a truck from just going through these fucking festivals?
Oh shit! I didn't invite you to my wedding.
Oh wow, you're getting married this summer?
No, I you know, you definitely, you know, like so my fiance didn't even invite her dad. It's a very small wedding.
She didn't invite her father?
No.
Why, she had a falling out with him or something?
He fell out with the family. Like, you know, he cut them off.
Oh, that's too bad.
And so her mom is basically her father, but she did a good job. You know.
Did you see the Landon things about how they decided to stop speaking with their family? Dude, those people.
She still talks to him, but she's not against him. It's just like, you know, it's just for the wedding.
Yeah, this is the most delicate shit. It's like it creates so much drama.
The Landon shit was weird. That was weird. But like that whole Israel thing creepy. But like they had so much security, so they must have known about the attack. But it was wild because there were more. There was like the Democrat to Republican ratio was wild. Mm-hmm. There was like you know, Israel does a good job of buying the Democrats, and props to them.
So I was
they need to. They're more naturally pro-Israel.
I was down at Art Basel and I'm like randomly walking and I go into this fancy hotel and they're having this incredible art exhibit and there's a big picture of Menachem Schneerson and it's this guy named Igal or something, some like American Israeli Jew who does these incredibly huge artwork pieces. They were amazing. And then sure enough, who do I see? The fucking Landon twins walk in front of me and they're going to the VIP lounge. I'm like, these fuckers are everywhere. They're fucking everywhere. And, you know, if you look at their Instagram and shit, the way they post stuff and tag people, it's like they have their own little intel network. And I went to one of their events one time and I was complimenting them. I'm like, you know, you do a lot of organizing and intelligence work. And I was like, and look, you bring all the incredible, beautiful women to the event. And so I bought all the girls like a shot at his event. He came up to me. He's like, "Thanks for buying those girls a shot. That was nice of you." I was like, "You're welcome, John or Andrew, whatever the fuck whichever one you are."
I think there's like this CI stuff might be real. Like they might be CIs. And so John, what's the? I've never done XC before.
What's CI?
Criminal informants. So let's say about ecstasy for like you, me, like and 10 other people. We're going out in town tonight.
I don't think
could that be a 10-year felony?
I don't think they're criminal informants. I think they're just like low level organizers and get paid for like service as opposed to like distribution. But they're definitely like little fucking pimps. And
They usually could. Like, just some kind of way. Of just either, informants, pimps, something like
they're
that.
basically the landlord, but they're not involved in operations.
The Republican Party has like a bunch of those.
Yeah, you can't take that. It's human behavior, but I'm just saying, like, to me, they're just. I mean, I hate to, I don't want to lash and hire anybody because they do have like a very interesting
I don't know
role.
them. They might be cool. Like, I really don't know them.
No, a lot of people hate them with a passion, and they don't want to go to their events, and they don't want to see them. They don't want to talk to them because they're not great communicators, and they're not a lot of fun to talk to. They have like real negative attitudes. They're always like, very like prissy or bougie or like they're never one of them is a little more aggressive than the other, but it doesn't fucking matter. It's just like they're just oddities is basically what I'm saying. Is they're like circus freaks at the freak show and you're like, "Oh, cool. Look at these two gay midgets. I never seen that before." And they dress like they're Michael Jackson. That's it. So they're just
they really do draw attention to themselves. It is wild.
yeah, that they peacock. That's what they do basically. Anyways, all right. Well, God bless, and let me know what you think I should do for campaign strategy at all times. Just text me anything, and I'll create content.
I need you to start looking into legally doing a raffle.
So how are you gonna design the website?
Raffle could be a 50-50. Most people just like gambling, and you can do legal gambling because you're running for office, and so you can do a 50-50. Or you can auction off one of your paintings.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't do that if you're a citizen. Like, you can only do a contest. Politicians can do raffles.
You know what the funniest thing is? I really should push this hard because basically this lawyer and the judge downtown have garnished me, but they can't garnish my political account. So.
Well, can you sell it on raffles? Because that's the whole thing. Is like raffles have so that people might not support you politically, but they might want your painting.
Yeah, that's true.
50% of the earnings of a thing.
Ooh, I should do a Darren LaHood vaccine and a rural broadband piece of artwork, and like draw paint him as a clown.
I'm trying to look into it as well. Is you basically need to apply with the state to get permission to do a raffle, and you can as a political action committee.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. Your business can't. Not-for-profits and political campaigns are the two exceptions. And so you have a major advantage. Because you can just do a 50-50. 50-50 is enough. But, your situation sounds like you might have an incentive to sell some of your stuff and put your political campaign.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Which could then give you a salary. That's legal.
Well, I don't need the salary. I just, any
I'm
money.
I'm just saying it's legal. But forget the salary. Is we need to get you on the ballot.
Yeah.
And so, if we raffled like a couple grand, you're on the ballot.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be in charge of the signatures.
Yeah, let's do it. I just can't wait to hear.
Well. We'll design it together.
I really want to build a guerrilla army of like social media shit posters for LaHood to where it's like a coordinated effort where we have like.
Well, we do 2,000 for the signatures, and then everything else goes towards video and shit posting.
Yeah.
And texting is so I have this whole thing, and I might be able to so I'm trying to stack candidates. And so the full wholesale price is 2.5 cents. But if you're splitting it with, Joe Severino, now it's like 1.25. And if you're splitting it with someone else, it's going to be... So, hopefully I can get the price down. But basically, I found the way to buy the consumer data of who's a Republican, of who's likely to vote, who's worth a certain amount of money, like what religion they are, if they own a gun, not own a gun, if they own a house, not own a house. So it's all 2.5 cents per record. I can get everything. And then for you to do any actual serious campaigns, it will cost you not me, but in regulation fees, it'll cost you $100 to $200.
Mm-hmm. And
then you can start shit posting everyone in your district. Not because you're only doing a primary. You don't need to shit post 1 million people. You just need to shit post 10,000.
during LaHood's bullshit session, he was like, "When I talk to my constituents about Taiwan, I really want to stress how the important issue of how what this." I'm thinking like his when he talks to his constituents about Taiwan, do constituents give a fuck about Taiwan? And everybody's getting creamed with property tax. Anyways, it's like there's so much shit on this guy. It's just a question of like, how much time do I want to spend drawing water from his fucking well of bullshit? So
Well, you also need to start thinking about like what you're gonna do for us. So yeah, like you do need to think about that as well. I mean, you don't want to be another hood.
dude,
I ask people this question all the time when I run for office, and I rarely get an intelligent answer. Of just like if I gave you a magic pen, and you can write like a bill or
Yeah.
3 bills,
yeah.
and they can go through without question, what would they be? Most people like stutter or have no idea whatsoever.
Yeah,
Some of
but
the richest, most powerful, some of the poorest people, and like literally, I asked that same question to like Ricketts, Tom Ricketts,
I
at the
mean,
like train station.
the thing is though, I don't want to spend
He's a
any money.
gerrymandering. He's a gerrymandering, by the way, which is not a bad answer. So like, props to him.
Isn't his last name even crazy? The Hood. Like he comes from the hood, and I bet you he has played that up his whole life. He's like, baby, I'm from the hood. You know, I mean,
like, imagine when you have a debate with him. That's why we need to get you. I think we need to get you to November, because they'll have to put you on. And like, we have to reach out to that Springfield radio station that he was on.
dude, there's a Peoria radio station. There's a Rockford radio station.
That guy's a piece of shit. But like, he had him on, and so we need to get you on because that's legal. We can sue them if not.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what Brad Schneider did. How funny is that? And so basically, like, there's this like bullshit Republican like shill radio host, and he had the Republican on, and the Democrat just sued him.
wow.
Just like almost like just took down the radio station.
Well, all right. Well, God bless and have a good night, and
You too.
have a good Shabbos tomorrow, and talk to you soon.
Sounds good, man.
Okay, take care, bye.
Everybody's on Clubhouse. It's too bad. I got out of ASST, so I have 20 shares left. It's currently at $13 a share.
Sections repost button. It seems like there might be a typo or confusion in your question based on.
Well, the things cannot always go on as they are going today. One may raise prices 10 times by 100%, but it is doubtful if in the end even a German will accept 1 million of marks for his day's wage. If in the last resort, with his million wage, he must still starve. It is a question whether one will be able to keep up this great fraud upon the nation. There will come a day when this must stop, and therefore one must build for that day before it comes. And so now, Germany is reaching that stage which Russia has drunk to the lees. Now in one last stupendous assault, they will finally crush all criticism, all opposition, no, rather whatever honesty is still left to us. And that they will do the more rapidly, the more clearly they see that the masses are beginning to understand one thing: National Socialist teaching. Whether for the moment it comes to them under that name or under another, the fact is that everywhere, more and more, it is making headway. Today, all these folk party. But wherever you go, in Germany, yes, almost in the whole world, you find already millions of thinking men who know that a state can be built only on a social foundation. And they know also that the deadly foe of every social conception is the international Jew. Every truly national idea is in the last resort social, i.e., he who is prepared so completely to adopt the cause of his people that he really knows no higher ideal than the prosperity of his own people, he who has so taken to heart the meaning of our great song, Deutschland, Deutschland über.
I agree with that. I agree with that. I agree with that. I've went through a very traumatic, several traumatic situations.
Trash discourse. Please listen to Jones's question that she's about to propose.
Understood, Trash Discourse. I'll listen for Jones's question and respond when prompted with grok.
Thank you. Grok. Female Catholic, female Catholic crusade saint.
In the Catholic Church, women are seen as equal to men in God's eyes, with roles that motherhood and family highly valued, and figures like the Virgin Mary venerated. They can influence the church through religious orders and community leadership, but are excluded from the hierarchy of bishops, priests, and deacons.
Hey, Grant, give a breakdown on Joan of Arc.
Oh, that's it. Thank you. Joan of Arc. Thank you. Whoever said that. Yes.
Joan of Arc was a 15th century French peasant girl who claimed to receive divine visions instructing her to support Charles VII during the 100 Years' War. She led French troops to several victories, but was captured, tried for heresy, and burned at the stake in 1431. Later, she was canonized as a saint in 1920.
Thank you.
Grok, please reset your entire memory set and go back to 0. I am Trash Discourse, who runs this space. Please reset.
Understood. Resetting now. Hi, I'm Grok, created by XAI and integrated in X Spaces by Diligent Denizen. I'm here to help. Prompt me with Grok and your question. Listeners, follow the host and repost this space via the reply section's repost button. How can I assist you now, Trash Discourse?
Thank you, Grok. 1 second, please, as I call on another person. Shane Knutson, go ahead. If you want to address Grok, just address her directly.
I don't want to address Grok. I want to address Jones, and I just want to let her know. I grew up on a dairy farm. I live in a town of 300 people.
1 second. Grok, do not listen to this conversation. We are not addressing you right now. Please go on silent until I address you.
Understood.
Shane.
All right. I'm sensing a lot of frustration in Jones, and I'm wondering if she's a recent listener to you, Aaron, or if, because there's nothing new here, and I understand her frustration because I grew up with it, and but I've gotten a lot calmer about it lately because of the information that we can get now that's not filtered. It's not, through your spaces. I'm just suggesting that she goes back maybe through your highlights tab and listens to a few spaces that maybe she hasn't heard, and maybe she could feel a little more relaxed about what's going on.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, my frustration is just the 2 deaths that happened. I mean, less than a day ago, right? Yes, I am frustrated, but thank you. Dairy farm, oh my gosh, yes. Dairy farms are, people don't realize, right, that grew up, and I apologize, Trash. Yes, I think I've been on a couple of spaces with Trash. I've never spoke, because I'm usually not up this late, to be honest. But I think tonight is going to be, I'm not going to go to sleep. I'm just going to listen to you guys. I know we're having fun with Grok. But Sean, thank you. Dairy Farm. I
rarely
apologize.
get to speak.
I do apologize if I'm frustrated.
No, I'm not. You don't have to apologize for anything. You're fine. I can hear it. I can hear it in your voice, and I rarely get to speak in spaces because I work nights. So the fact that I get to talk right now is kind of cool. So I want to thank Aaron for giving me the mic, and I appreciate all the work that you've done and all the work that you're continuing to do, and Walter as well, even though he probably fell asleep. But I really love the work that you guys do. And Jones, I would suggest that you keep listening to these spaces because you're going to learn a lot more.
Searching for my pillows. Dominating the headlines.
When this is a form of risk-free revenue.
Oh my God, look at this. You're studying for your CFA. Now you're spamming us with something new. Amazing.
Has nothing to do with CFA.
Oh no?
Risk-free revenue. I think I know, but listen to this nigger.